Hello everybody and welcome to GLHF episode number 34, where today we are taking a look at what is possibly one of my favorite games of the year, which is Dishonored. I do have to give you a spoiler warning. I am slightly far into the game. I'm just about to start the second main mission, so you may get some minor story spoilers. And speaking of which, we're actually going to do just a minor mission right here, which is in the main town quest hub thing.
Hello, Corvo. I expect Martin will be joining us shortly. I hate to start your day with such a strange matter, but the servants heard something last night, moving through the storm drains beneath the building. Most likely a weeper, the poor bastard. There's no hope for them once the plague gets that far along. Nothing more than a shuffling corpse full of sickness and insects, if you ask me. I'd appreciate you investigating, just to be sure it's not a nosy guardsman that's getting too close. Here's a key to the hatches. I'd send a servant down there, but they'd die of fear on the spot, I'm afraid. Maybe Piero can concoct some sort of sleep poison for your crossbow if you want to go that route.
So I guess first on the priority list is to explain what the heck is going on and what this game actually is about. If you haven't noticed, this is all pre-recorded footage. I'm doing commentary over it because it's really hard to do commentary and play this game at the same time. There's a lot that has to go through your head as far as how you approach different situations, because this game is a first-person, kind of open-worldy stealth action game. It's kind of like if Half-Life 2 and Metal Gear Solid had a weird child in a steampunk world. If you haven't noticed, this is a very steampunky, I guess, setting. It has some weird aspects to it as well, pretty supernatural stuff, as you'll see here in a second when I start blinking around. As far as the story goes, basically you were the Lord Protector of this, awesome lady who ends up getting, spoilers, assassinated at the beginning of the game, and you're blamed for it even though you weren't the one who did it. So you can imagine that from there you probably are put in jail, which you are, and then you have to break out. And that's kind of like the prelude, is you breaking out of prison and joining up with these guys who are like, hey, we got to take down these evil people who set you up. Your basic kind of story, I guess, is what it boils down to. What makes it interesting, though, is the fact that it is in a steampunk world, and the fact that you have so many weird supernatural options available to you, as in like this black magic stuff. And like I said, you're going to see me do one of the main abilities you get, which is called Blink. It's basically the grappling hook of this world for you, and there we go. It just blinks you forward. It has a limited range. You can go up, you can go down with it. It's actually quite cool. So it's how you get around the different areas. And as I was saying, that the world is pretty open. So you go like into missions, right? And the missions have all these things that you can do within them. And in that, you basically are able to pretty much go anywhere and approach different situations whatever way you want. The guys you're seeing here are infected with the rat plague, which is what's kind of taking over this area of the world that you're in. And it's what causes a lot of the chaos and stuff, and a lot of the mischief. And the whole goal of the Empress, the person who was in charge before, was to cure her people of this plague. And basically, I guess some people, from what I can gather, some people don't want that to happen, and in fact they're using the plague as a way of keeping themselves rich. Basically, they're all the middle class and lower class people are being affected by the plague, and all the rich people are benefiting from that because they're like absorbing all the money from it. So it's this kind of cool aristocratic like society. So I really like it, but what I've decided to do here, instead of killing the people with the plague, I decided to just put them to sleep and we'll deal with them later. Because, maybe we're able to cure it in the future. And in fact, most of my playthrough that I've done thus far has been a non-lethal playthrough. I've killed a few people as I've had to here and there when I've like startled them and I just didn't want to reload. One of the keys to the game is constantly saving, so if you don't get the result you want, you can just reload and then go right back into the fray and do whatever it is you wanted to do. So, little girl here wants to talk to me.
There in the sewers? I thought I heard a weeper in there earlier. You're probably the bravest man I've ever met. Overseer Martin has arrived.
Well, I guess it was actually a woman.
Admiral Havelock now.
But oh well. So she wants me to go talk to the overseer, who is in the pub. And this whole area I'm in right now is kind of like the main mission hub, as I was talking about. It's where you go between missions, and you can explore around, and there's things to loot. This is also where you upgrade your skills. You see, I have these different powers. You get runes in the game that allow you to unlock different powers, and you can kind of choose what you want to do. Like, I don't have any of the super lethal ones, which are like was a wind blast or the evil thing of rats that you can send on people and have them murder people as they like eat them alive, which is really kind of disgusting, but it is an option. I've gone with mostly non-lethal abilities here, but let's get this next mission.
Corvo, I trust you remember Martin, an overseer before and perhaps again someday soon.
I owe you thanks for my rescue.
Indeed, you've given us a glimmer of hope, Corvo. Because we've gotten what we wanted from Campbell's journal. You've done it. We know where Emily Caldwin is being held.
The Golden Cat, of all places. A bathhouse for aristocrats. Little better than a cursed brothel.
But there's an unfortunate twist. It appears that Pendleton's own kinsmen stand in our way. The twins, Morgan and Custis. Not only are they controlling Emily, but they have the controlling parliamentary votes we so desperately need.
Yes, the Pendletons have to die. But most importantly, Emily must be brought here safely so we can protect her until the Lord Regent and his entourage have been dealt with.
So to explain a little bit more, what has happened is the Empress's daughter or something, I don't know how it's actually phrased there, I don't know the actual titles for people, but they stole the daughter of the person I was trying to protect and got murdered at the beginning of the game. And she's the heiress. She's the heir to the throne of this area, but they have her, and we need to get her back because she's going to be the one that gets in charge when we're all done and through. And right here, you just see me purchasing stuff, so I'm prepared for this mission. And then there's a side mission right here that I'm able to get as well.
Corvo, I've asked to speak to you myself. You see, I'm sending you to kill my older brothers, Morgan and Custis. They're horrible men. It's true, as you may have heard, cruel beyond words. Further, my brothers are close allies to the Lord Regent, and as long as they are in Parliament, we cannot gather the votes we'll need to stop the Lord Regent from further consolidating his power. These days, they're best known for exploiting their favor with him to cheat others out of their wealth. Let's just say that not every family evicted and quarantined for having the plague actually has the plague. I warned my brothers in every way I could. I really did. But they never did listen to me. They'll be at the Golden Cat tonight at their usual revels. They'll be protected by the City Watch, so it'll be dangerous. Now go. Please do it before I change my mind.
So you pretty much play as an assassin in the game, which I'm okay with. You can, like I said, you have all these different options. You can assassinate everybody and actually kill them off and do all that fun stuff. Or you could go the non-lethal route, which is kind of what I've done, and not kill them. And what this does is it makes it so your game has less chaos going on. Chaos gets built up when you kill more people. The more people you kill, obviously, the more chaos there is. The more chaos there is, the more weepers, which are the people who are sick with the rat plague, the more rats there are, and you'll get different interactions with people as well. So you kind of get an entire different gameplay style going on there.
I'll get you as close as I can to the Golden Cat, Corvo. You'll have to go the rest of the way on your own. The entrance is near Holger Square. The main thing is to make sure that little girl, Emily, gets back all safe and sure. Them two Pendletons are there, so I'm guessing there'll be a lot of guards. Slackjaw might have some ideas on helping you get inside the cat, if he don't kill you. This here's his territory. He and his Bottle Street gang hole up at the old Dunwall whiskey factory. They sell the elixir that folks use to fight off the plague. I'll lay low, but keep an eye out for you and the little lady you bring him back. Good luck to you. I know Emily must mean a lot to you. Be careful going up the street, Corvo. A river hand I know pulled up alongside me last night and said there's one of those watchtowers on Clavering now. I guess you getting rid of Campbell shook up the Lord Regent.
And there you have that. So now I'm in actually one of the main areas. This is actually where the first mission takes place as well, but there's much more things to do here. You saw I pulled out a little like weird steampunky heart. That shows me where to go. This little vision thing, oh, chaos pop up, so if you didn't get what that does, it says it there. The vision thing that I just did allows me to see enemies and friendlies and all that. Just basically people and anything alive through walls. So it's just making sure nobody was there. It's at this point that I'm thinking, okay, well, I want to go through this without killing anybody, but I kind of screwed up this first part. I'm not really sneaking around too much. And then there's this guard right here, and I'm like, get behind this. I don't know what to do, so I decide I want to... oh, and he sees me, so this is a problem. So I have to run up and I have to kill him real quick, stab him in the throat, and then I'm like, well, crap, I gotta hide that body, but I don't really have an option here. Can I see anybody else coming? And then yes, I see someone on the stairs there coming for me, so they've heard something, they're gonna come check it out. I could easily put him to sleep and hide all the people coming down to check this out. But that gets a little silly because you get a pile of bodies that are all either asleep or dead, just laying on top of each other that you've put in a corner, and you're like, this is just like in Metal Gear Solid when you're like, crap, I've taken out all the guards and I didn't really mean to do that. So you see me here trying to blink up on the fence, but the fence has spikes on it, so it's like I gotta jump off of that. I really screwed that up, basically. That didn't go over too well. They could have gone much better. I could have hid the bodies that were there in the trash can. There was nothing in the trash can for me to loot either. So I'm like, okay, well, let's get back to being non-lethal. So I check this out. There's a guy here. I don't know what he is, whether he's just a civilian. Civilians won't usually mess with you, or if he's a guard. So the only way to figure that out is get a different vantage point and then check him out. Yeah, he's just a person, so I don't really have to worry about him all too much. Now there's plenty of places for me to go here, but I want to get these bone charms, which basically give you a passive in... well, you can have 3 of them at a time, and then you can upgrade it to have like 4 or 5 progressively, but what they do is dependent on the bone charm, so I like to collect a lot of them and figure out, you know, all the different options I can have there. The ones I have currently, you'll see in a minute when I actually get this one, but they're like, my sword swings faster, and I'm able to possess rats for longer. And speaking of possession, basically what you can do is you can possess either rats or people. It's a little different depending on what you want to do. So if you possess a rat, you can go through like air vents and stuff and get to secret areas, because when you unpossess something, when it wears off, you pop up behind them, which is a little creepy for everybody around, so it's difficult to do in the open. So you can also possess people and like move them around and kind of have fun with that. Now I see this like assassin guy here. I have no idea who he is. I've never seen these before, so I'm like, well, I'm just gonna choke him out, put him to sleep, and what I'm able to do with that is move him over into this corner, loot anything he has, which I got crossbow bolts from him. So I assume he would just kill me if he saw me or try to kill me. So you got to be kind of careful with that. Ooh, that's a mana thing. Let's fill up my mana and take that back. Now I'm also going to try to head over to that bone charm, but I got to make sure there's nobody else in this area or in this immediate area. And the bone charm was up on... ooh, there's a guy over there. Bone charm was up on this other balcony over here where you see like the thing hanging off. Right up there. And there was another assassin that just didn't see me because I was sneaking around, so I decided let's put him to sleep with a sleep dart, and in the head. Perfect. And we're able to blink over there and get into that room where the bone charm is, or at least where we know that the bone charm is. You have to break through like a wooden wall, and there are some things that you can actually break by hitting them with your sword and whatnot, or you can like blow it up with grenades, but that makes a lot of noise and it isn't a very good idea. So we're gonna bust through the boards here. It does, you'll hear it, it makes a lot of noise. If people were nearby, they would hear it. And oh geez, there's a guy who's sick and he hit me, so let's take him out. Hopefully I didn't get like the plague, I don't know, but I got this bone charm. And what I'm able to do with it is, once I go into the menu here, I'm able to not only see what charms I currently have equipped, but which ones that or which one I just picked up. There was another charm in the area too, which I'll have to go get later. So this one makes it so that enemies have a slight chance to miss with guns. It's okay. I have 4/4 already, so I don't really need that. Like I said, they're just passives, so I try to get the ones that are best suited for my playstyle, which in this case is kind of a pacifist playstyle, not trying to kill anybody, except right here where I do end up murdering a few people. And if I had possession leveled up, I could probably possess one of these guys and get one to kill the other. But instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump down and do like a death from above on this guy. And I'm going to stab this guy as I jump onto him and then shoot the other guy. So that's the goal here. Let's see if we're able to pull it off. And let's get out of stealth and let's jump onto this guy. Whoop, and stabbed. Okay, he's dead. That guy sees me. Shoot him in the gut. Oh, he's still alive. Let's stab him in the throat. Perfect. Perfect. That went very well. Then I see that guy over there, and he didn't hear a thing, so I need to go make sure that he's slept. So I'll choke him out. And then I gotta hide all these bodies in case anybody comes around, so you don't want any of these being found. And, oh, not working. There we go. Sometimes it's a little buggy, which I've had it actually alert the guards before while I'm sitting there trying to choke them out, and it's like doing other things. So that's why quick save is such a nice feature in this game. Just being able to quickly load and save your game is always really nice. But there's also other things you could do. You could slow down time. That's another thing. You could stop time entirely when you get it leveled up enough. So things you could do as far as killing people are concerned. You can stop time as somebody shoots at you. You can possess their friend and move it in front of it, and then their friend would get hit by the bullets. And then you could resume time while you're behind the guy who shot and then stab him as his friend gets shot in front of him. So it's like these really cool things you could do with all these different abilities. Or you could just go like straight up run and gun and stabbing people and shooting them and using blink to get behind them when they're not watching. So there's a lot of options you have available to you. And in fact, I'm going to skip forward here of my little playthrough as I try to go find this other charm. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you an option of where I did it passively and then where I did it aggressively. We'll look at the aggressive one first because I kind of screwed it up and that's what I did first, and then we'll look at a passive version of a mission in this distillery. A brilliant crossfade later, and now we're here in the distillery, the Dunwall Distillery I think is what it's called. And I'm just going to sneak around and try to get around all these guards without killing them. That's what I was going to try to do, but this ends up being the lethal version of my playthrough on this part, because I screw up the last part, and you'll see that when we get there. But I think this is a good time to kind of discuss how the missions actually have been working thus far. From what I've played, I haven't really gotten too much further than what you're seeing here, but it's actually pretty far into the game. So basically the missions work like this. You have a main objective, right? It's like you want to go take out a guy that you're going to have to kill that was a part of your whole setup, right? So that's the main objective. Then you have all these other objectives in between and all these other things to explore that are given to you from other people. And then you have all these other options available to do it. So like, for example, in the past mission, there was this mansion that I had to get into where a meeting was going to occur, and I could go in through the sewers, I could go in through the front door, I could go in through the back door. There's just all these things that you could do, and each of them have like a different kind of play style to them. And I like that you have all these options available to you. So what I'm trying to do here is I have a couple options. I could kill this guy, or I could choke him out, which is what I'm going to do. And I don't really have anywhere to hide the body at the moment, so I'm like, ah, crap, well, let's go up. Can I go up? And so I'm trying to blink onto this, and that's not close enough. I can't really blink onto that. That's not close enough. And I look, and I was like, oh, geez, there's somebody coming. So I have to blink onto this roof over here and lay the body down. So that way it's not discovered. If it's not discovered, I get bonus stuff at the end. I get less chaos and whatnot. Now, what's going to happen is this guy I could jump down onto, and I could just stab him. But I'm also gonna sleeper him and just put him out, or knock him out rather. And what that's going to allow me to do is to hide him up over where I just hid the other body. Now, you may have saw when I had the heart out that in this like cage to my right, in the corner there was a bone charm. And that's what my goal is to do, is to get this bone charm. And I'm looking around and I was like, okay, all the guards are taken care of, now I could deal with these guys. These guys are infected with the plague, which means they're not really going to yell and alert everybody, especially because I've taken everybody out in the vicinity. So I was like, I'm just going to kill these guys. I'm just going to put them out of their misery, because I don't really have enough sleep darts to deal with them and everybody else. So shoot her, and then we'll take care of these two. But as I get down there, I realize that the door is actually locked, and I don't have the key for it, which means I have to find the key. Which means the key is probably in this building right here. So I have to go in there and find the key. So that's a secondary objective to take care of, along with the primary objective. So it's a mess, basically. There's so much going on, and there's so many different ways to handle the situation. Like, I could have just put those guys to sleep and then gone in, or just not even dealt with them at all. I could use one of these rats that you see at the right there, and I could put like a mine, like a tripwire mine on them, and I could put them in the area. I could possess them and move them into where these guards are, and the guards get alerted by the rat and want to kill the rat, and then they'd step on it, and then the mine would go off and kill them. So there's so many different things I could do here. And what I end up doing is I end up waiting a while and trying to wait for the guy to come back through the door that is out, that was coming towards me before. And in fact, he's gone through the door, and you could see him there just kind of looking away up over there. And I need to take him out. But what I've decided to do, you're gonna see the skip ahead here because I literally wait forever. So what ends up happening is I wait and I wait and I wait, and I figure, okay, I'll just kill these guys. I'm just getting impatient. So that's what I do. I sneak around for a bit, and I decide to bust out the crossbow, and I end up taking out the guy on the railing. I sleep him. So what happens is that then alerts these two guys, and these two guys want to come after me, and I end up having to take care of them as well. But then there's a body just lying there because I slept that guy, and then other people are alerted, so it's just a giant mess. You could easily, ooh, I missed there. You could easily go through and just kill all these guys, and you know, that would get you a high chaos rating. So what I want to do is put these guys in a place where they're not going to be found right away, but the body that I had slept, the first guy, he's found, as you see there, which means this guy is alerted to my presence. So he's going to come looking for me, so I kill him, because I don't want to use all my sleep darts. I actually need some of those just in case for later. You always want to have kind of a repertoire of stuff. You know, you can have a grenade always available to you, or, you know, tripwires, stuff like that. So you can kind of set up these elaborate plans if you wanted to, or you could just sneak by all of them in general, which is what you'll see coming up here. But let me move all these bodies out of the way and make sure that they're not going to be found. Now, what you're not seeing here is super smart AI. Like, if you're on very hard, somebody would have heard all that going down and they all would have been alerted, which is, as aptly named, it is very hard. Right now I'm playing on normal, and it still is pretty difficult. The AI is very smart, which I think is key in a game like this. It's key in a stealth action game. If they're not smart enough to realize stuff is going down, then it doesn't really feel like you're being stealthy. It just feels like they're dumb and you're taking advantage of that. So the fact that they do react pretty rapidly to situations, and they're able to hear them, and definitely on higher difficulties they're able to figure it out. Like that guy right there would see the blood on the ground and instantly be alerted. Well, there was blood there, it's now gone. So there's a lot more stuff that happens on very hard. And I would say because there's so much to do as far as how you want to deal with enemies, and how you want to, either you want to do it passively or aggressively and kill everybody. There's a lot of replay because the game does change based on how you decide to go about a level, which I think is really cool. Your NPCs that are on your side will interact with you differently. The ending of the game will be much darker if you go around killing everybody. It's just really cool that is an option. Plus the levels will be more different because you'll have more rats. If there's a pack of rats, they'll just eat you, so you got to avoid those. Or you can hide bodies by giving them to the rats and just dropping them down. There'll also be more sick people, so you got to deal with them if you have a higher chaos rating, rather. So like I said, there's a lot of options available to you. So we're going to go into this room here, and I didn't see that guy before, so I got to take care of him, make sure there's nobody down there. I'm going to blink behind him and choke him out and put him to sleep. You'll see in the second version of this that this guy's actually in a completely different area when I come in here to begin with, because I do a different timing. And there's an assassin there who's kind of waiting around. There's that guy who I have to find. And I don't realize that this guy that I have to find is actually someone I have to talk to, which is how I screw this up. I go in there and I just kill him, and I was like, wait a second. It said meet with him, and I was like, you know, that, whoops, accident, whoops. So I have to reload and do it again. But it does give you the option just to kill him, and that's a thing you can do. You don't even have to do his mission. You could just kill him and then move on, and you still get credit for meeting with him, kind of. And you'll see here, blink, it says up in the top right, optional, meet with Slackjaw, and then it crosses it out, right? So I didn't finish it, but I did, you know, get that objective done, so it's out of my mission log, basically. And I'm looking at it, and I was like, that didn't seem like that's what I needed to do, because it said meet with him, and I killed him instead. So we're going to end up reloading here, and I'll do this entirely different. So everything that you just saw there will be completely different, which is why it is so much fun. This game is so good because of that, and it's a game that really draws me in, and it's kind of my thing. This is what I really like to do. So instead I got bend time, which slows time, and what I planned to do here was to slow time and then blink behind these two guards that were on the right hand side here, but they've actually already left. It was completely different this time. They've decided to go somewhere completely different. Their AI has already moved around, and I was like, okay, like I was expecting you guys to be there and for me to have to blink out of the way, but you see them headed down the way there, and because I slowed time, they didn't really hear me going because I moved so quickly in their eyes. Once you upgrade that, it'll completely stop time, so you can have a lot of fun with that. Now you see here, I have much more options available to me because I didn't alert the guards, so I can slow down time, hop on this chain so they're not seeing me just kind of like dangling there. I can blink up to these pipes, and now I can avoid everybody that I had to kill previously or put to sleep or anything like that. So there's just so much replayability in this game, and in fact it kind of makes me want to do a series on it with a completely passive playthrough of the game, and almost like a guide of how to do it and how to get everything and where everything's at. I think it would be an interesting series because basically anything I do is going to be completely different than what everybody else does, and it's actually kind of cool that the game allows for that, and the game doesn't break if you do something super crazy. You know, it actually encourages you to go out of your way to do fun things. And the game gets really silly sometimes when you're running around and you alert guards, but you don't want to reload, so you just put them all to sleep, and then you just have this giant pile of bodies like piled up in a room, and you just are continuously adding people to it because they keep getting alerted, and then people see the bodies, and then like the more guards get alerted, and you have to like bring those in. It's fun. It's a really good game, and I think the steampunk style really aids the game, and it makes the game much more interesting. So that's basically my entire thoughts on it, and why I would kind of want to do a series if I could on it. This time we're actually, as you see here, we haven't killed a single person yet. Completely different than the last time. And we're going to come in here, and we're actually going to talk to this guy and see what he has to say to me.
He is a villain if I judge your looks aright. A villain I might have some work for. Somebody put plague in the brew tank. Half my men are weepers. Trapped 3 of them in the distillery. Rest are wandering in the street. Since it's so, and I find myself short of able bodies, I may have a point of interest for you, see? Way I figure it, there ain't nobody worth killing round here except those 2 Pendletons over at the Golden Cat. I'm right, ain't I? See, Slackjaw knows. Them boys are twins. Rich, mean, and weird. Worse than most of their ilk. They've been laying low there a while, not sure why. There's a lot of security at the Golden Cat tonight, though. Special guests and the like. But you're gonna walk in there dressed like that and kill the Pendleton brothers? Maybe I got a better way to take care of them, too. If you're doing something for me first, understand? Someone I don't know who is killing my men, taking my territory, stealing my goods. Might be a fellow named of Galvani. I sent my best man to investigate, but he went missing and... well, now I need someone to find what happened to him. Go to this Galvani's place. He lives nearby off Clavering Boulevard. You do that for me and I'll get you a better way into the Golden Cat.
So there you have it. So the people that he's talking about that poisoned his distillery was me in the last mission. In fact, I spent 6 hours on the first real mission, not the prelude thing where you break out of jail, but the first real mission I spent 6 hours doing, just exploring everything, and I poisoned his stuff and did all that nonsense. So it's funny that I'm actually doing a mission for him this time around. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to mess with him a bit more as we go along. But that pretty much wraps this up for this video. I hope you guys got an idea of what Dishonored is. It is definitely worth every penny. It is so good. It's got a lot of replayability. You'll continuously want to do things different. It's just amazing. I give them just huge props for this game. But on that note, we shall see you guys next time.